but Genji was really concerned about whether or not his costume would have an abs window. Hey besties, it's Nat back again with another Animal Crossing speed build of my New England themed island of Nautilus. And today we're working on another villager neighborhood. This neighborhood is in the bottom left-hand corner of my island, and she's got a lot going on, okay? Behind me is the museum, to the left of me is Kiki's house, to the right of me is Coco's house, above me are some houses. We'll get to those houses a little bit later. In fact, this area is actually going to be a two-parter because there's so much going on, but she just really needs a town core facelift, okay? As you can see, this is Coco's yard. It's cute. It's sort of giving Coco, like we have the gyroids and everything, but it just doesn't mesh with the rest of the neighborhood. So that is the goal today, is to get the yards in this neighborhood to mesh together, to work on the road a little bit, you know, zhuzh it up. We're also gonna have a little chat about the Nintendo Direct that happened this week. If you're watching this video in the future, then you get to reminisce about the Nintendo Direct of September of 2022. So that'll be fun for you. Anyways, you know the deal, besties. Grab a snack, grab something to drink, and let's get right into it. Okay, besties, hi, it's voiceover Nat. Long time no see. I did not intend to take almost a month long, I think actually over a month long hiatus, and I'll discuss that a little bit in this video, because boy, do we have the time, but right now, I am going to discuss the build as I'm supposed to do and explain my process, as you know I love to do. Right now, we are tearing down the outdoor portion of Kiki's seafood restaurant. For those of you who don't know, Kiki's house is a seafood restaurant because that is what she wants in Happy Home Paradise, and I built her a bakery instead of that, and I felt bad, so I gave her a seafood restaurant, and also it fits my island theme. So, you know, we're fixing that area. Like I said, this whole area is about zhuzhing things up, and speaking of zhuzhing things up, this whole, like, steel beam thing that's going on, I wanted it to have, like, a road divider, to divide the road, if you will, from the beach, which you can see in my beach speed build. I'll put a link in the card. I'm going to be so good at advertising in this video because there's so many other fun things in this area that I already built that you should all see and enjoy. But yes, that steel beam goes away and it gets replaced with just the most fabulous custom design. There are a lot of fabulous custom designs in this video, and we'll get to those when we get to those. But yes, once again, if you have been watching my videos, and you'll know that I accidentally went on a hiatus that I did not mean to take. So apologies for that, but I'm feeling very refreshed. I've been taking good care of myself the best that I can. I had a vacation. I went on vacation and I visited some of my best friends in the entire world in Florida, and I was going to post a vlog of my trip, and I may still do that, but I just want to get my friends' permission first before I go posting videos of them on my Animal Crossing account as opposed to like my personal account. But trust me, besties, I had fun. I had a good time. I drank many margaritas responsibly, as you all should. I went to the beach. I met many lizards, and I saw some boats, and I just had fun with the girls. You know, it was a good time. It was very refreshing for me. But yeah, now I'm back on my acnh grind, as it were, and we're working on this area of my island, which, honestly, I feel like I say this in every video. It's like, this is the hardest build I've ever done. No, you don't understand, okay? Coco's yard. You see that, like, it's like maybe like a 9x4 square of a yard over there. Coco's yard is the hardest thing that has ever happened to me in Animal Crossing. And you're gonna see it. You're gonna see some of it, okay? Because some of it I just could not even fit in this video, okay? This took me weeks in real life. I would pick up the game and I would like organize something. Right now we're laying down the road, which was frankly the easiest part of this. But yeah, no, Coco's yard really tested my ability to work in a small space, and I definitely don't feel like I failed. Like, I feel like I had a great success in the end, but just the pain and agony of getting to that, and weeks of feeling stuck and annoyed at myself that I couldn't figure it out, that was definitely a bit of a mood killer, not gonna lie. But that's okay, because you're gonna see the final result, and I think it's cute. And I think Coco likes it too, because she likes hanging out in that space. I've seen her hang out there a couple of times, do some stretches. Marshall also has an opinion on Coco's yard, which you'll see later in the video. I mean, not that that is abnormal for Marshall. I mean, he's a very opinionated guy. Right when I was about to film this, the intro part of this, he came up to me and told me how he doesn't like normie fashion. So yeah, that gives you an idea of where Marshall's head is at. But yeah, there's a lot of villager conversations in this video, and I hope you enjoyed them because I enjoyed them while I was building this. It was like a relief from dealing with the logistics of getting a yard to work when you have like 3 tiles of space to work with. But yeah, I'm just messing with the roads, realigning them. Like I said earlier, the second half of this area is going to be in the next speed build. I'm gonna do Genji and Coco. Oh my god, the drama. Genji and Marshall's houses, which are above this. And then in a video probably soon after that, I'm gonna edit my resident services area, which is to the right of this, and like my entrance and everything. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be a fun time. And like I said, there's a lot of fun codes that I'm using in this video that I'm going to use in those videos. And now we're moving Coco's house, because not only was editing her yard a challenge, but moving her house, I had to move Coco's house, I'm pretty sure 5 times over the course of this. You guys are going to see, so you can count yourself how many times I moved Coco's house. But yeah, no, Coco's house, I'll never forget the feeling of working on this, because it sure was something. Also, I'm going to be wearing a lot of funny hats during this video, so if I change hats in between scenes, that's why. I was ordering them in the mail. Genji loitering in Coco's yard, playing with her gyroids, not suspicious at all. I think later in the video, I also wear an eye patch. I was just trying to make fun for myself when I was not in the mood to work on this. But yeah, I'm editing the road. I'm also going to switch the road code later on in the video. But you know what? No, I'm tired of talking about the build. I'm tired of talking about the build. You guys know that I'm not that type of person who can talk about the build consistently, because I just have other things to say. Like Marshall, I'm very opinionated. We are similar in that way. But luckily for me, the combination of building setbacks and then editing setbacks made it so that I was recording the voiceover right around the time that the direct was happening. So now we can have a little kiki about the direct, because I have many thoughts that I would like to share with you all as I move Coco's house over and over and over again. There's going to be a point where I move Coco's house and then I have to move it again a 3rd time because the place that I moved it to get out of the way was too close to where I was trying to put it. Here I am stunting some trees. It was a whole thing, okay? It was a whole thing, and I just never want to think about it ever again. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the direct now. Several things. First of all, I did consider streaming the direct, and I may stream future directs, Nintendo or Pokemon Presents. But I didn't feel like it after the incredible Splatoon 3 stream that we had this weekend. But I was very tired after that stream. And I thought, you know what's even better? What if it's 10 in the morning and I live text the entire direct to my sibling who was absolutely asleep when it happened, and they wake up to 50 text messages. So that's what I chose instead. And that was really great for me. But you know what else was great for me, besties? You know what else was great for me that they made for me? If you're a friend of the channel, then you know about a little farm called Content Farm in a game called Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life for the Nintendo GameCube that we've been playing. I haven't streamed it in a little bit because I still cannot find my memory card for my GameCube. It's somewhere. I have to look for it. Because we gotta get back into Content Farm. It's so serious. Because they announced Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life for the Nintendo Switch. And when I tell you, I was crying. It was 10 in the morning. I was in bed. I was crying. I had chips in the bed with me because I was eating chips and I fell asleep and I woke up and then I was crying and it was so much. I don't know what else to say. They could have just shown that and nothing else and I would have been happy. I know a lot of people were complaining, why are there so many farming sims? Well, I'm sorry that your crops aren't watered and you're not good at farming sims. Be a real gamer, maybe. I don't know. Ooh, we're about to have a villager conversation. Thank God. I need some emotional catharsis. Anyways, this conversation between the drama. Anyways, this conversation between Bob and Genji was very cute, but the part that really got me is at the end where Genji says that he eats rocks to work on his jawline, and he has a Chad jaw, which is true, he does. But that really struck me, you know, like that he eats rocks. Think about that next time you think about Genji. Anyways, like I said, I gotta get back into streaming Harvest Moon to prepare for literally a year from now when that game comes out. But I'll be ready, besties. I'll be ready. I'm buying that game as soon as they let me pre-order it. It's going in the cart because that is one of my favorite childhood games. I've been seeing a lot of reactions from people like, oh my god, this is my whole childhood. It's happening. I've changed funny hats. We're working on Coco's Yard, but it doesn't matter because Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, you can be gay. You can be non-binary. There are more romance options. There are other quality of life improvements that I care about less than being gay and non-binary. Yes, we'll be playing it. I'm so excited. That was it. Once again, if that was the only thing that they'd shown us, I would have been happy. But, you know, they also gave us a couple of other little treats. Speaking of things that make me unhappy, though, this is me moving Coco's house again. And then I was visiting Pecan to refresh myself after that horrible experience. And oh, and these two are being cute in the little town square. But yes, other things from the Nintendo Direct that were not A Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Okay, listen. When Miyamoto came out, and first of all, the first thing I'm pretty sure he mentioned was the Mario Nintendo World moving to California, which is really cool. And then he like briefly mentioned the Mario movie and then didn't say anything else about it, which is hilarious. And then he starts talking about Pikmin, and like you could tell like the energy like in the chat of everyone like, oh my god, Pikmin 4, Pikmin 4. And then starts talking about Pikmin Bloom, literally begging people to play Pikmin Bloom. This man showed us his own account. He risked doxing himself to show us his Pikmin Bloom account and show us where he's been and all his little Pikmin. And honestly, I hate to say it, but honestly, that's like tea. Like, Pikmin Bloom is a good mobile game. I have my qualms with it. Mostly the location tracking freaks me out a lot. But compared to like Pokemon Go, which I can never really get into, and then just like other mobile games in general, Pikmin Bloom is a bit of a slay. It's just so relaxing. Like I just like I load up my little guys, and then like I go on a walk. Every time I go walk somewhere, you know, I load up my little guys and I plant some flowers, and then I grow more little guys and I name them, and it's and they give me postcards and stuff. It's cute. It's cutesy. It's a good game. I mean, it's a mobile game, but it's fun, and I never felt I've never felt pressured to do any microtransactions, which I appreciate. But that was my Pikmin Bloom ad. Tell me in the comments whose Pikmin Bloom ad read was better, me or Miyamoto. But then after that, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, Pikmin 4 is also coming out. It's so funny, because like I know Pikmin is his baby. And of course he's excited about his little mobile app, and he made his little Pikmin shirt, and he's like, look at my shirt. But it was just so funny how the order of that part of the direct of like, this is what Miyamoto has to say to us, and then it's mostly talking about Pikmin Bloom, and at the very end he's like, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, we are making Pikmin 4. It's coming out in 2023. So hype for that. Oh my god. I don't think I've played Pikmin on the channel, but I love it. It's a series I've played once again since I was a child. I think my copy of Pikmin 2 is literally stolen from a Blockbuster. So, you know, if that gives you an idea of what I was up to as a kid, there you go. But once again, Coco's Yard, I was struggling with it. You're going to see many iterations of it throughout this video. But the final iteration, I think, turned out okay. I was also struggling with the trees in this area because I wanted there to be less trees, but I still wanted there to be some trees, and I couldn't decide what types of trees I wanted. And I think it turned out okay, but that is going to take me some time to figure out because I am dumb and don't know what I'm doing. And here we are. Anyways. Oh, Butch fell asleep. That's really cute. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to talking about the direct now because looking at Coco's Yard and thinking about Coco's Yard and ruminating on Coco's Yard is making me sick to my stomach. So yeah, the direct. Okay, Splatfest? Splatfest. I just started playing Splatoon literally a couple of days ago when I did that live stream. That was literally the first time I've ever played that game in my entire life. And it's really fun. I've been playing online a lot more now that I've learned the controls. I like the melee weapons because I like melee weapons in all games because I like to hit things. Big fan of the rollers, big fan of the katana, splatana thingy. That's been a lot of fun to use. This is my first Splatfest. I did not do the pre-sale Splatfest. So I don't really know yet how it works, but I'm excited to try it. The question this time is, what would you bring to a deserted island? Supplies, food, or fun? And I kind of want to vote food, partially, okay, I'm pretty sure this is not how you're supposed to do Splatfest, but partially because I just love my girl Fry, and I didn't get to represent my girl in the first Splatfest that she was in, so, you know, I want to represent her now. And also just because I think food is a good answer, because I love to eat. And I'm also kind of, you know what, I feel like Big Man kind of has a point. Like, he's on to something there with fun. Like, you wouldn't think, like, I'll bring something fun with me to a deserted island, But you know, you don't know how long you're gonna be on that island. You don't know if you're gonna be there for your rest of your life, or you don't know. So maybe you just want to spend the time you do have having fun. Maybe he's on something with that. So I don't know. Let me know what you would bring of those three things to a deserted island, whether you're doing Splatfest or not. I'm very curious. And your reasoning. Who is flying outside of my house? That's so rude, honestly. Like, keep your helicopters away from me. We've had this issue before. You know, they're loitering in the sky above my house when I'm trying to record, and that's very rude. You're getting a sneak peek of how messy the back area of this neighborhood is. Just as messy as the front area, to be honest. Marshall is loitering while I'm trying to fix this road. That was another big struggle with this entire build, was just there were so many villagers around. They were like flocking to me like flies. It was so weird. There were so many times when they would literally walk right in front of me as if I was about to place an object and just stand there. I'm like, come on, you know, I've already been through so much. You saw me working on Coco's yard over and over again. You don't need to do this to me now. But I did get everything done, and I did dig up that money and then bury it. No, I didn't bury it. I did not go for a money tree. I don't need a money tree. But yeah, we're fixing the road. And then I think this is sort of when I figured out kind of what I wanted to do with Coco's house, and then I ended up changing it again. So my confidence in being like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do is very hilarious in hindsight. And then Bo gave me something that I don't want or need. But yeah, that's just Coco's yard. Like, Coco's yard, like I said, something about working with such a small space. And also I really wanted to maintain this like alleyway next to the museum for like gameplay purposes. Wow, I can really say words. And also just, you know, because I think it looks nice. And I like the separation between her yard and the museum. But yeah, this is another cute orientation of Coco's yard that I did not end up keeping. I kind of wanted to have like the gyroids play a part in Coco's yard, because for those of you who don't know, you can check out the speed build linked in the card. See, I said I would do advertising for myself, and I'm doing it now. Speed build of Coco's house. It's one of my favorite houses I've ever done on my island. It's so cute in there. It's her aesthetic, impeccable, absolutely impeccable. But she is a ceramicist. She makes gyroids for a living. She makes them out of clay, or she like finds them in the woods. I don't know what she does. But I wanted that to sort of be part of her yard. But her yard was too small, and I couldn't make that a part of her yard and also have it fit in with the rest of the neighborhood and be like secluded from the road, because she is on a corner. So I don't want, you know, I don't want it to be too sort of like in the street, if you know what I mean. So don't get attached to this layout because it changes completely. And I am pleased with the final layout, but you know, that was my original vision, was to have the gyroids sort of be part of it. So we have like the kiln, and then we have the little guy sitting there. But you'll just have to go inside of Coco's house to see that, because it's certainly not outside. Okay, back to the direct for my mental health. The new games they're adding to Fancy Nintendo Online look like fun. I imagine Mario Party will be very fun, but I don't own expensive Nintendo Online because I just haven't felt the need to get it. Let me know if you have it and if you enjoy having it. I'm curious if you feel like it's worth the money. I kind of do want to get it for the Zelda games, the N64 Zelda games. Also Pokemon Stadium, that might be the one that gets me. But yeah, let me know thoughts on that. A Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, that is a bit of a sleigh, and I will definitely be getting that when it comes out in February for my birthday. I will be getting myself a little copy of Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Because it's his, technically next year is a different year, but it's his year and he deserves. Obviously the big thing of the direct was Miss Zelda and Mr. Lonk. At the very end, they gave us another teaser. I've seen people complaining that like the teaser was like too like mysterious, and they should have given us a full trailer. Oh my god! Speaking of ads, what I was talking about earlier, Miss Maddie is giving an ad for one of my previous builds, the what's it called? The beach build. I have a whole series of me doing my beaches on my island, and now we're changing the roads. Oh my god, everything's coming up on me so fast. I can't handle this. This is just like watching the direct. Oh, I know what we're doing. This fabulous code that was provided to me by a lovely bestie in my Discord server, linked in the description, who helped me find this code that I needed to make this like road barrier effect with the wooden field sign recipe. You're gonna see this. I'm obsessed. I think it just looks so nice. I love the design. Bo was asleep, same. But yeah, replacing the really tall, sort of a visually busy like fence bar thing. I don't know, but it was just too tall, and there's like tall fences everywhere, and it was doing too much. And then this code is just so perfect, and I'm obsessed with it, and I'm so glad that I have it on my island now. But yes, what was I talking about? Oh my god, we were talking about my beach decorating series and the beach that Maddie was running around on. And I thought that was cute, one, because it was a good little sneaky promo for that build, which I am a big fan of and I enjoy visiting often. But also because Maddie used to live over there on her own private island and then I destroyed it, so I felt kind of bad. But then also now she's running around there frolicking freely, and I just thought that was really beautiful. But yeah, I replaced all of those beams with the wooden field sign recipe with this gorgeous custom design, and I'm very pleased with it. And we're just moving some things around. I added a utility pole. You know how I love a utility pole. Adding a garbage can. Love to have garbage cans all over my island just to throw away junk in my pockets. A very useful gameplay object. We're talking about Zelda. We're talking about Zelda. We're talking about Zelda. And how there was very little gameplay in the trailer, but honestly, I don't mind. I just thought it was like a fun, I think it's kind of fun that it's like mysterious, because you know, we know it's going to be similar types of gameplay to Breath of the Wild. I just think I'm more interested in like the story and like the new elements of like we're going to be in the sky, we're going to be flying. I'm very excited for that. I am not good at Zelda. I famously, in fact, since childhood, since I was a wee lad, as a child, I am not good at that game. I've never been good at, I think, any Zelda game. The first Zelda game that I remember being my own, like not necessarily like that I've played, but that was like my game, was Phantom Hourglass for the DS, and I still have my copy from when I was a kid. But I never beat that game because I was very stupid as a child and could not solve the puzzles. Same with Professor Layton. I also had that problem with that game as well. Even though I enjoyed it, I was just very dumb and could not figure out the puzzles to save my life. But same thing with Breath of the Wild. I have a copy of it. I've been playing it recently, but I am just not good at it. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the world. So I will be playing Breath of the Wild too. I'm sorry, Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know why the kingdom is sad, but they need to work on that. But yeah, I will be playing it. I will be terrible at it, and I'll probably be watching someone else play it to learn what the story is and how it ends, because I am not good at Zelda, but I'm excited. I am excited. Let me know if there are things from the Direct that I didn't mention that you were excited about. I'm very curious. There were a lot of JRPG announcements that I'm sure were very exciting to people. I know it opened with Fire Emblem and those kids with the Colgate hair. So if you're a Fire Emblem fan, you know, let me know. I'm curious. I like to know. I'm nosy. This is a known fact about me. But yeah, we are working on Coco's Yard again. The bane of my existence, Coco's Yard. This is sort of going to be the semi-final layout. Unfortunately, like I said, the gyroid did have to go. I would like to find a way to include them somehow. But I decided to just use the tried and true method of stealing, which I also love to do famously. This is what Pecan's yard looks like if you saw the video where I did the old people neighborhood. I'll link that in the card. Look at that, I'm 3 for 3. Look at me. Little girl boss. Oh my god, no, I should shut up. But yeah, I just basically stole the aesthetic of Pecan's yard, but then made it more Coco-like. So instead of having the stones, we have the wooden planks because she lives by the beach, so I figured that she would have something like that. And then we put a drying rack in the yard, which you're gonna see in a minute. Marshall has something to say about that, actually. But yeah, I have the trash can outside, I have the street lamps because it's at the front of my island. I want it to be more urban than like the back of my island. We have the vending machines on the side, so when you're walking through the alleyway, it feels like an alleyway, and the museum is to the left. I swap out the scooter. I want to use that somewhere on my island. Maybe I'll use it at Marshall's house, but I swapped it out for now with the bicycle, which I moved to the front of the build, and then I move the drying rack to where the bicycle is now. See, Coco was enjoying it. Coco was a fan of what I did with her yard, and I would be too, because it was a bit of a sleigh. Oh yeah, here I am placing down the drying rack, and then I very triumphantly pose in Coco's yard because I was so proud of myself for finally figuring out. But of course, after all of that hard work, Marshall is loitering in Coco's yard. And he talks to me, and he turns around and points out Coco's drying rack and calls it shabby chic and says it looks like someone left it outside by accident. After all that hard work I put into making Coco's yard, Marshall. See, okay, I get it, right? I get it. He was upset about Genji earlier being the one who was doing the loitering, hanging out with Coco's gyroids, but like, no offense, Marshall. This time it was not Coco's fault. Like, I will admit, in the past, Coco has been an instigator in the love triangle, absolutely. However, this was Genji's fault. And y'all need to get it together and go after him, because literally 9 times out of 10, he is the problem. Like, in this whole situation, he has been the problem so many times, and he gets away with it because he's like a himbo, and he's like, oh, well, he's too dumb. No, he's not. He's not that dumb. And then 1 time out of 10, Pecan is the problem when she asks me to play hide and seek when I'm working, and she's wearing a very cute polka dot sundress, which she's just so adorable. Look at her. But I have to say no because I'm a girl boss and I don't have time. But yeah, that was the update on the Coco Marshall Genji fuchsia drama. I guess they're fighting again. I don't know. I'm a builder. Okay, that's none of my business. But yeah, as you can see, like I said, I changed my road code from the Colin Crossing dark all seasons road to the light all seasons road. I thought it was a little bit more beachy, and a little more, it looked fun when it was like worn down, which is something that's important for this island. And I just wanted to try something new, and I like how it looks. It's definitely very jarring because of the lack of contrast that the dark road has, but I am getting used to it. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. I am very curious. Obviously, you know, at the end of the day, it's my choice which one I use, but I just want to know which one you like more. Do you use Collins Road on your island? What are your favorite like road codes? Do you like roads, or do you like swirly paths? Like, do you use the path? I'm curious. I'm nosy. These are all known quantities about me. But yes, we're about to cut to another villager conversation. Speaking of Genji, oh my god, here he is talking with Maddie. They're having a cute little conversation. They don't talk a lot, so it was nice to see them interacting with each other. But they're having a conversation about if there should be a dance competition or a weightlifting competition, and they asked me to break the tie, and of course I said dancing competition because, like, duh. But Genji was really concerned about whether or not his costume would have an abs window. So yeah, that's a little food for thought for you. I wouldn't have included the conversation if not for that one moment from Genji where I was like, wow, that's food for thought. Oh, here's another color swap that we're doing. This is my bricks code that I use on my island. I really like it because it's only 5 tiles, but it feels like it's so like rustic and it has so much personality. Here was Genji being in my way again as per usual, but I changed it to this like lighter brown color as opposed to the bright red brick. Just because I thought that it contrasted with the lighter road a little bit better, and the very bright green grass. I felt like the bright red was giving a little Christmas, and that's not what I'm going for, besties. I'm going for like summer. I was gonna say that's the opposite of Christmas, but if you live in the southern hemisphere, then that is untrue. But yeah, here we are. What am I even saying at this point? Here we are working on Kiki's house, another one of my favorite builds on my island. I'm using that brick that I just mentioned. I'll link Kiki's fish restaurant up in the card again, 4 for 4 on the ads for myself, because I deserve. I'm my first biggest sponsor, besties, truly. Oh yeah, here I am adding like a crack in the road. I love doing this with these road codes because I just think it adds a little bit of personality to the road, and I was having a little bit of trouble with the road that I place underneath it. I like placing the road underneath, depending on the road's like transparency, what you place underneath it impacts how it looks a little bit. And it also shows up on the map, which I really like. And you can do the cool effect that I like to do, where I like cut something out of the road and put a little custom design or something to make it look like it's like broken. I don't know. I just think it looks nice. But yeah, here I am working on Miss Kiki's fish restaurant. I decided to switch out the light up sign that we got on the 2.0 update, but for this classic wooden menu sandwich board type thing, just because the main objective with this whole area was to be less obstructive from the beach. So when you're sitting on the beach on the log, or you're sitting in the fishing spot, then it looks nicer when you're moving the camera around, because that whole area behind with Kiki's house and like the chairs and everything, it was doing too much. And I just didn't like how it looked, so I had to change it. But yeah, here I am adding another broken area to the road, and adding the wheat fields, which you know I love a wheat field. I was adding even more wheat fields over here, but ended up exchanging it for the bike again because I thought there were too many wheat fields. And also I did end up accidentally losing some footage of me moving some things around, but it wasn't super important. I just swapped out the teal colored car that was originally parked back there. Oh yeah, here I am checking the camera angles. The teal colored car that was sort of supposed to be Kiki's car that was parked in that parking spot, and I switched it out for a truck to sort of be like a delivery truck. Not that Kiki's having fish delivered or anything. She wouldn't do that. She's a fisherwoman herself. but I was just placing some decorations over there. I don't know why it cut like that. That was weird. Editing this was also a bit of a challenge just because I had footage all over the place from like weeks and weeks and weeks of working on this. But I got it together in the end. You know, I got to do what I got to do. I'm extending the wheat fields onto the beach to make it once again a bit of a sand dune and connect it to my previous beach build that is below this area. Also, at some point, I took away the like the changing rooms on the beach, and I ended up replacing them with just a hand washing station because I didn't want there to be so much tall stuff obstructing the view of like the museum and all of that stuff behind it. So I did do that, and there goes that truck popping into existence after I got it recolored. I may end up having to remove some items from this area of my island just because of how many are there and how laggy it is, but I'm just, you know, I love a little clutter. This is, once again, another known fact about me. This video is a combination of gossip about other Nintendo games and also just widely known facts about me. So there you go. I honestly miss doing voiceovers. You know, I love to talk. You know, I love the sound of my own voice. That's like a prerequisite for being a YouTuber, especially if you're making like a speed build moment. But yeah, I missed doing these. I missed hanging out with you guys. I did get a chance to stream a couple of times during my hiatus, and I've had a lot of fun. Like I mentioned, that Splatoon stream was amazing. I also did a couple of my classic City Folk streams. Like I said earlier, I do want to find my copy, or like not my copy of Harvest Moon, but my memory card, so we can get back to Content Farm. I miss it so much, and seeing the remake just made me want to play on it more. So I want to do another one of those streams, but I have been keeping pretty good at my promise to play City Folk once a week, and the City Folk streams are honestly so fun. Like, they're super chill, but also like funny stuff happens because like City Folk is such a crazy game, and like the villagers, they just say the darndest things sometimes, and I really enjoy that about them. So yeah, check out the City Folk streams. I do them most of the time on Saturday. My last one got cut a little bit short, but normally we stream for a couple of hours, just play some City Folk, and we usually cap off the night by going to KK, and it's really fun. Oh, there's another ad. Wow, look at me, girl bossing all the way to the end, as I should. But yeah, I was fixing the outside of the museum. I just wanted to extend the white fence a little bit, sort of tie it in with everything else going on. And I kept that rock with the, I think that's a nautilus. There's an actual nautilus in the museum that's like alive. But I picked that one to be like the sign for like, hey, there's a museum here, because that is the name of my island. I'm always interested, because I had people ask me before, like, what does the name of your island mean? I'm like, it's an animal. It's an animal. You can Google it, and he's right there. The nautilus, the chambered nautilus. He's an animal. He's been on Earth for about as long as an animal could be. He's a pretty cool dude. Love a cephalopod. That's Bestie right there. That's why my town flag is Omanite, because he is also a nautilus, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we're coming up on the end of the build. Oh my god, it's been such a time, besties. We've done so much. We've been so many places. I checked back in with you after my accidental hiatus. We talked about the build. We talked about all the things that Coco has put me through. We talked about the Nintendo Direct and all the things Nintendo has put me through. What Miyamoto put me through in those like 2 minutes, those 2 awkward minutes of him explaining Pikmin Bloom. We talked about the nautilus. We did a little biology. And now here we are at the end of the build. I'm just placing down a couple more wheat fields. We talked about wheat fields. Most importantly, we talked about wheat fields. I think that's really what you should be getting out of this channel. But yeah, here we are at the end of the build. Thank you all so much for watching this video and making it to the end. If you liked it, please make sure to leave a like. It really helps me out. If you really liked it, you can subscribe and hit the little bell to be notified every time that I post or go live. As I mentioned, this is a 2-part video series, I don't know, thing where I'm working on this neighborhood, and the next part, which should be going up on Saturday, fingers crossed I can make that happen, will be Genji and Marshall's yards, which are right above this area. So if you liked this, you should be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to be streaming City Folk on Saturday, as I always do, and I'll also probably be streaming Harvest Moon soon as well. So be on the lookout for all of those things. You can also follow me on my socials, join my Discord, all linked in the description, and have a wonderful day, I guess. Yeah, no, I don't guess. Have a wonderful day. Bye, besties.